Hello, my name is Bader Karshe, and today I will be talking about my poster presentation, which is evaluating the work-life balance of an oncologist. So starting with the field of research, the reason why I chose the field of oncology is because it is something that's always been that fascinates me. Specifically, cancer is a constantly mutating disease and it's always changing. So, therefore, it is imperative that oncologists learn how to find the best ways to treat it. Furthermore, oncologists are overall at the forefront of cancer research and treatment, and they treat diseases through different methods such as surgery, medical, and radiation therapies. So, it provides better ways, this field provides better options to take when figuring out what path you want to choose when becoming a physician. Specifically, I researched the field of oncology in order to understand what the work life balance is of this profession, in order to figure out if this field was right for me. So, moving on to the significance, this profession is first and foremost very rewarding because you overall get to treat patients with terminal illnesses. But it's not only just that. You specifically get to build strong patient interactions compared to other physician specialties. And not only are you capable of just doing that, but you also get to build a relationship with the family. Overall, your goal is to provide a better quality of care, which is why, as an oncologist, you get to learn how to have better communication skills as well as collaboration with other members of the field and learn how to figure out best ways to alleviate the stressors of the patient and the family. So, moving on to what I learned through my research, I learned that overall, being an oncologist is a very high stress environment compared to other specialties, and it is imperative to have a proper work life balance. Some oncologists have had such high stressors that it gets to the point where, as I mentioned a bit earlier, that they cannot maintain a proper relationship because they don't want to feel any emotional connection. So therefore, what happens is they no longer have that emotional connection with their patient, so they lose that quality of care, and therefore they cannot do their task, and they kind of lose that passion that they have. You lose that reward that you get from being an oncologist. That is why it is important to have a proper work life balance. You need to first figure out what your goals are and set your limits in order to figure out how you can best address and manage your profession. Moving on to future work, overall, an oncologist, the market size is expected to grow by 11.9% by 2025. And this is kind of going in line with, as I was mentioning earlier, that cancer is overall a mutating gene or mutating disease, and it is always changing. That's why there's always new therapies, such as immunotherapy, which oncologists have to continue educating themselves in this growing field. Lastly, moving on to alternative breaks, I decided from my experiences that after after learning about alternative breaks and going to those meetings, it inspired me overall to learn and explore more about the socioeconomic inequities that we face within the Maryland community. Specifically, I learned more about gentrification, topics on finance, and how racial groups are affected by socioeconomic inequities. And I believe that I want to address these problems in the future through either as a pre-med, I want to plan on doing this through clubs and further educating the general body meeting. And as a physician, I hope to address these problems with the power that I are with the privileges that I hold. Any questions?
I was just wondering if you had to think what it's like the most important thing in terms of balancing your work and your life as an oncologist, what would you say?
I would say it is important to learn how to say no first and foremost. As I said, an oncologist work in a high stress environment, which is why it is important to learn how to say no to certain things